Yeah, buddy. Lightweight.
Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Yeah.
If you watched a lot of my old videos when I did overhead presses, you know, we can do dumbbells, we can do machines, but if you watched, I was standing in a rack doing a lot of barbell presses. And what I loved about that is I love the core work. I know people are scared, like, oh, it makes you thicker, especially in the midsection. But for me, I really felt like it put a lot of tension on my rear delts, on my rhomboids, on my traps. But, you know, it really put a lot of strain on my shoulders. Remember, you got to balance. So it's not like you get your back against the pad and you're using your legs, you know, as kind of that push. You know, you see so many people like pushing against that pad to really get that force with the shoulders. You're bringing in the whole body, but you can't cheat on this movement. I mean, you can do a little bounce, but for me, it was always that tension that I had on the shoulders. I mean, I'm not doing the crazy weight I used to do. So it's 2 plates and a quarter on this. And I'm gonna try to go for at least 8 reps here. Okay, actually maybe 10. 2. $11. 12 reps, you know my game. But seriously, I really like this movement a lot. I try to use this machine. You know, I don't really get into much of the barbells as much anymore. If I do, not pressing as much, but man, I was working up to like 275 on this movement. This is my first starting movement. Normally I started with a pre-exhaust movement with dumbbells, which I'll do next. So I'll do side laterals with dumbbells next, and I'll showcase that. But, you know, remember this movement, you know, good foot position, good body control, and pressing the weight up. I don't come out to locking position. I know a lot of you question how much you see my range of motion. I really feel the muscles getting that work without doing that full lockout at the top, okay? 45, 60 seconds between each set, and then we go right into it, okay? Okay. And that's the name of the game. So we all have our style. This is not to say that this is the exact form you're supposed to use, but I just like to show what's real, okay? How I train. If you look at all my videos, you see the consistency. I had this article in Muscle and Fitness when I was 22, and it said Sloppy J's shoulder workout. I talked about how my form was loose, and I never sat there and tried to say I was the smartest guy, or I mean, it was all trial and error, and you guys know how that is. We've seen people train with perfect form and not get the best results, right? I'll do these standing today. My shoulders feel a lot of blood. I've got like 4 meals in me today, so that's why I always say, if you can train after 3 or 4 meals, your pumps are gonna be that much better. I don't even know how many reps that was. But the movement's kind of like a front and side lateral at the same time. A little swing to the body, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna kind of roll through these. I'm gonna do 1 more set of 40s, and then I'm probably gonna work my way up. Probably do 45. Just trying to feel that side delt right now. Actually, I'm gonna stay with this way. All right, so it's chest up there. Good. I'm getting a good burn on this. Really just trying to come parallel to the floor. It's a little different with the dumbbells. I feel my range of motion is actually a little more. So when I come up, it's kind of like parallel. So I'm gonna do 3 sets of these, focus on 12 reps. So I'm working the overall delt with the presses. You know, we did the side laterals from other side. This is gonna be the front raise, and then we'll move over to some back stuff. I mean, rear delts. Some of the bottom of my chest is at the top of the pad. Starting position here. Up. 2, 3. Little hold right there. Little hold. was tough. We're gonna do focus on the rear delt. I keep bragging about this movement. Sorry about this light in the background, guys. I keep bragging about this movement, how good it is. Let's see, I'm gonna try a weight here. This is hard because this is in kilograms. Let me see what this feels like. It's a little heavy, so I'm gonna do 27.5. Nice step back. Hopefully you guys can see this. Cross the arms. Okay, get a good little, I'm gonna lower a little bit just because this one's a little higher, so. Okay. That weight feels different, I don't understand, but. You see this movement, crossing, pulling with the rear, really isolate. I felt really heavy, but almost like those are off a little bit. We always talk about the side movements. Like people talk about their delts. What you don't realize is when you stand to the front, yeah, the sides, you know, your development's there, but you don't realize that rear. So I'm gonna accentuate, like if those rear delts are popping, it's gonna give you that much more width. And I always had the crazy, crazy rear delts. And a lot of that I would attribute to this cable motion. Remember, you're always gonna have that constant tension with the cables. That's one thing, you don't lose it. Like with dumbbells, barbells, you know, you have that range of motion where kind of lose yourself in that rep a little bit. Where I feel with cables, you get that constant tension, okay? And that's ideal for getting that feel. Okay, so maybe you can see this one a little better. So I'm gonna do this movement 3 sets, and then I'll probably do a pec deck movement. So I always like to do at least 2 rear movements for the rear delts. I felt like I've lost the most, like in my back, like I said, my delt, the mass, you know, when I'm hitting those poses, I can really see because I lost that pop of the shoulder. So what I'm really gonna focus on is trying to really isolate those. And listen, you're getting a lot of these from your back movements. You know, whether you're doing barbell rows, seated cable rows, you're doing pull downs, pull ups, you're gonna get a lot of that rear delt involvement with the movement. So it's about 135. Remember, I'm coming back to here, really just keeping that constant tension. You'll see me pause in a couple reps just because I'm locking myself back in, engaging the muscle. I'm not afraid to do that.